What is up, everybody? Listen, I'm pumped today. I don't know why, but we got good vibes in the chat. People here early and often. We've got a lot of May the 4th stuff. Lucas was up in here early. Levente, 5:56 a.m. Eastern. That's when Levente was in here. We love that. Kevin with some Yoda stuff. Mike Harrison. What's up, everybody? We're here. We're here. Team Hold is here this morning. Deep Threats up in here. E Portsy. Shout out E Portsy. We've got some fun, exciting news about ePortsy for the next big show that we do with everybody here. The big show. I like calling it the big show. Wolf Warner up here in Brooklyn. We love that. Wolf, we neighbors, dude? I'm in Astoria. Not really in Brooklyn, but we're close. We're close. But good vibes for everybody. Chris Lance up in here. Kyle K up in here. Weston, first time, dude. Shout out Weston for being here. Drew, what's up? Yeah. Let's get business out of the way. Let's like the shit out of the stream today. We want the high like usage today. Also, just want to say, a lot of you checked out On the Moment stream last night. Like way too, like you guys were so into it and just like so much support over there. So shout that out for doing that. We love it. Adam Newton in Australia. Let's go. What's up from Australia? The Twitch crew's even guys, we're bumping today. We're bumping. Is it because we have a special guest? Probably. I'm not going to give them all the credit though, because I want to make sure that I feel good about myself this morning. But first and foremost, guys, I will share John's comment before we get into it. The Armenian nose is back again, baby. All right, listen, guys, everybody take a sip, please. Sponsor me, you cowards. All right, we're ready to go. There's stuff from Greece. Let's go. We are an international sensation right now. Listen, we get some stuff to get into because I'm not saying I'm taking an L or anything, but we need to give Dustin some love because the Lakers came out, they showed out, and this is a reminder, right? So the Lakers beat the Nuggets last night, 93-89 in like a 1998 style basketball game. But this has to be the reminder why the Lakers are still the favorite to come out of the West. Like even dinged up as they are, no LeBron, no Schroeder last night. And it's not because there was none of them. What I'm saying is they can lock down defensively more than any other team in the league. Maybe the Knicks. The Knicks can also play that style of defense, but like the Lakers can just shut anybody down. I guess you can't shut down Jokic. He still had 32 and 9 last night, but outside of Jokic, like nobody did anything. I think Porter had 19 points, and then I don't think anybody else had double digits. There's too much JaMychal Green last night. Too much JaMychal Green. But Drummond, AD 25 and 7. AD absolutely shut it down last night in the last couple minutes of the game. Patrick Kearns says get sponsored by Mary Lou's. Dude, I would love to get sponsored by Mary Lou's. Although the amount of sugar in those coffees, that I would just be a nutcase. 11 p.m. probably not a great time for coffee. That's true, Adam. That is true. And if there is a You Cowards, please give me a You Cowards brand of coffee. But AD at 25 and 7. As I pull up AD, I also want to shout out Andre Drummond. I know I need to share screen. Don't worry, it's coming. Shout out Andre Drummond, who last night, 4 points, 0 rebounds. Love to see it. Anytime you can play 20-plus minutes and get – Andre Drummond last night scored 4 points than me. Scored 4 points than me last night, but we had the same amount of rebounds. Same amount of rebounds last night. All right, let's get this share screen up. Let's take a little peek at AD. Let's see how he's doing. So he's 384 for that Series 1 moment that's out of 2K. The 1500 Series 1 moments out of 480. His debut, which is out of 1431, is 1200, right around there. You know, AD's back, baby. AD's back. The Lakers are here. The Lakers are back again. They moved into the 5 seed too, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which I love because right now, if the playoffs started right now, the 4-5 is Lakers Clippers. And I'm excited about that. I am very excited about that. That was a Gregory Mansfield. We got, get Kwame Brown on the line. Yeah, some time for some Duncan. We're going to probably have a Duncan sighting in a little bit, I think. Yeah, did people watch the Marvel game last night? Did you guys stream it? I didn't. I think that was while the On the Moment show was happening, so I missed that. But oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving. But yeah, so AD, that price looks juicy. on some of those. Let's see if there's any like entryway points that we like. No, everything's pretty fair priced. So I want to go. I probably want to pop off, but AD is someone I'm going to pay attention to as we continue to move into the playoffs and as the Lakers get right. I just want to look at Jokic's debut moment just because I shouted that out last night, and still sitting at a 1,400. But again, that's like a 400 bump since last week. All right, we're going to move quickly through some of these games because, like, when I say the Magic Pistons, I don't think anybody's super excited. The one thing that I noticed about the Magic last night is their starters played like 20 minutes, but their second unit played like 35. So I didn't watch that game, so I would imagine the second unit was playing sharp and they just let him cook. But Mo Bamba had 22 and 15 off the bench. I'm not saying go buy Mo Bamba. I just want to see what this looks like. But 22 and 15 off the bench is a pretty big line. $88 for that first moment, his debut moment. Honestly, that could be his last moment on the site. If he's not thriving yet, I don't know. And then RJ Hampton, I wanted to pull up because he had a pretty sharp game too, 16 and 10. And we finally, oh wait, I realized I'm such an idiot. I had a filter on from something earlier. So, and if somebody said that in the chat, I apologize. But let's pull up RJ Hampton real quick. Drippy saying Sadiq Bey broke a Steph Curry record last night. Which one is that, Drippy? I saw he had a good game. I saw he had some buckets. He had 26 and 9 last night. All right, let's look at that Hampton, right? And then we get that hustle and show. Also, shout it out in the chat if you scooped one of those hustle and show packs. I did not. I missed by 6,000. But yeah, $34 for that 18K hustle and show moment. It seems like that's where that's right, like settling. And $22 for that first moment, which is out of 12K, which is a little nice. I think I probably wait a little bit longer, but all right, now let's get into the meat. The Wiz Pacers, 154-141, 0 defense played last night. Sabonis, look up old Saboner, 32 and 19, just like fantasy goodness. $26 for that Seeing Stars moment. $6 for that 35K moment. Like, dude, Sabonis is a cheap. Cool Cat down to 20. Let's look at the series 135, climbing back up a little bit, right? I think this dropped almost sub 100 or 118. I remember. I don't know, but it's climbing back up, which is good. So Sabonis looked good. I'm not going to look up Rui, but Rui had 27 and 7. Beal had 20 and 6. LeVert had 33 and 7. Just everybody had a good game. But I just want to look at Westbrook one more time. Dude, Westbrook's stat lines are just bonkers. 14 points, 24 assists, 21 rebounds. Like, unreal. 1150 for that first moment, which is the series 1 out of 1,000. His other series 1 out of 2,900 is 265. Try to find a little, nothing really cheap on Russ right now, right? Nothing really cheap on Russ, except for that Cool Cat, which is at 148. Oh, I'm sorry, 35K moment. I just needed to scroll up like a little dummy. $7 for that 35K moment. So that's Russ. All right, Golden State, 123, New Orleans, 108. Playoffs are kind of shaking out. Like, the Pelicans look like they're toast now. Even with the Spurs' tough schedule, like they can't pick up games on anybody ahead of them. But Steph, 41, 8 and 8. I'm sorry, no, 41 and 8. He shot 8 for 18. 8 for 18 from 3, and then 14 from 26. All like just getting shots up. And that's what we love to see. That is what we love to see. John Weingart says, no Brogdon last night. Feel good about the playing game. I like that we have John in the chat because he can give us those Pacers updates because he's the only one watching them games right now. All right. I just want to just peek in at Curry, who's just, otherworldly right now. $30 for that 35K moment. That's how you know he's a great basketball player, because his 35K moment is $30. His Seeing Stars at 165. Again, those Seeing Stars sticking out a little bit because they're out of 10K. And as we're seeing these serials grow, you're telling me you're getting a star at 10K kind of is nice. Yeah, those are the affordable Steph Currys. Draymond Green had a little Russ, like a mini Russ game last night with 10, 15, and 13. I'm not going to look up Draymond. We'll peek in on Zion, Zion just gets 30 a game now. That's what he does, 32, 8, and 4. That rising star sitting around 875. Man, this moment right here, this first moment, that debut, all the badges out of 1357, was creeping around 3,000 last week, and I got really excited. I was like, please come down. But 138 for that 7,500 moment, that 15K moments at $96. And then that 35K, you just want a Zion out of $29. We like it. Matthew Loftus coming in saying, drank an energy shot. We love it. All right, I see a lot of questions about hustle and show. We'll get into hustle and show in a little bit. I'm just because we have a guest, I want to get through these games. Hawks 123, Blazers 114. Nobody to real. Actually, we are going to look at Bogdanović again because he's one of my favorite players. But he put up 25, and this is, again, I've said this before. We saw Bogdanović putting up these numbers, right? And we're like, oh, Trae Young's out, Collins is out, Capella's out, his usage is going up. Everybody was back last night. Everybody was back, and my man had 25, just dropped 25. Trae Young also had 21 and 11. On the Blazers side, Dame with 33 and 8, CJ with 20. But, man, $14 for the cool cat, whatever. $6 for the 35K moment. If I'm trying to scoop something, Series 1, again, not financial advice. Do whatever you want. If you don't like the Hawks, you don't like Bogdanović, whatever. But for $79 for his debut moment out of 3,300, this dude is good. And I think they're going to be in a very entertaining first-round playoff series. I don't know if they're going to win. Maybe it's like a short-term buy as it like comes into the playoffs and then you get off him in the playoff. I don't know. But he's a great player. I love Bogdanović. I do. All right. How many games we got left? Sixers, Bulls. We are going to run through this one because the Sixers won 106, Bulls 94. Bulls were without Vucevic, without Levine, and without self-respect. Seth Curry had 20 and 4. Tobias Harris had 21 and 9. And B didn't even do anything. Kobe White had 23 for the Bulls. But just like, God, the Bulls is a nightmare situation. Knicks, Grizz, 118, 104 for the Knicks. The Knicks just win the games. That's what they do now. They just win every game. They're like 45 and 1 in their last 46 games. Randle, let's look at Randle. 28, 6 and 6 last night. Jesus. He's just a machine. Julius Randle is a machine. He's gonna be first team all NBA, second team all, like he's gonna be on one of those teams, right? $47 for Seeing Stars, $7 for 35K, 51. Let's look at that debut. Where's that debut at? Wait, no way. Okay, that's the early adopters. I was like, what? $299. It's still creeping up. No, Ja Morant had a terrible game last night, so I'm not even gonna go over his stats. But Desmond Bane had 22 off the bench. Interesting rookie. $48 for that debut moment. Interesting rookie. That's all I'll say. I don't hate Bane long term. Last game of the night, Utah 110, Spurs 99. We're not pulling up anything. Oh, Gobert. We'll look at Gobert because he was in the hustle and show, but he had 24 and 15. Good win for them last night. $35 for that hustle and show. I imagine that's the most expensive one out of all of them. Okay, that was like a recap on speed last night. That's what happened. It's like I bumped a line and was like, let me run through the stats. But I'm excited to get our guest on tonight. Where the hell am I? This morning, you probably saw a video on our channel last night. If you're in the Discord, you already saw the hype that our man Sawyer is going to be doing some content on the channel. So what better way than to just get him on here? So to everybody in the morning marketplace, let's get a coffee sip welcome to our man Sawyer. Sawyer, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody? Mike, thanks for having me on this morning.
Dude, I feel like I should have brought you in 2 minutes earlier. Sip of Duncan. There's a good look at that plug. Look at that plug right there. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I should have brought you on like 2 minutes earlier once we got into the Randle stuff because I could almost like see you in the background here. Just get like, somebody say Julius Randle?
Yep, Knicks 10-1. Randle 28 points, 6 assists, 6 boards last night. They are. Listen, if you're talking about the best basketball being played in the NBA right now, it's the New York Knicks. I think they're on the highest note. They're getting ready to go into the playoffs. I talked about it in my video. Nobody wants to go see that defense in the playoffs right now. And I think Julius Randle, as the leader of that team, kind of the captain, the de facto, he's got all of the young guys together. And they're playing lights out. Like you said, it really doesn't seem to matter who they're playing. I don't know if anybody has been following any of the Vegas lines this season, but they have been hammering Vegas. I think they're now 12-1 against the spread. Everybody discounted them this season, and they've just overperformed. I don't think anybody actually had them making the playoffs this year. And the fact that they're a 4th seed and a really strong 4th seed at that, I think has shocked everybody. So, yeah, super bullish on Randle, not only on the Top Shot site, but love to see the Knicks and good basketball in general.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do in the playoffs. Just because they play, and no disrespect to the Knicks, they play gross basketball. So I'm excited to see, like, to put them up against the Hawks. Who the Hawks, like, people believe the Hawks play super fast because it's like Trae Young and Capella, but they don't. They also play pretty slow. So I'm excited to see them just like grind that out in a playoff series, assuming it stays 4-5 like that. But yeah,
I think it'll be a great series.
Yeah. But Sawyer, I guess like we're gonna get into some strategy stuff, but I guess like give us a quick, I don't know, what was like your introduction to Top Shot? How long have you been in the streets? I mean, clearly, if you're a part of the Discord, you know Sawyer because he's out there giving sharp takes constantly. But yeah, give us a little like background.
Yeah, absolutely. So, gosh, I'll start back off. It's probably the middle of February. I was on LinkedIn. And a business mentor of mine who is, how would I describe him? His name's Hyun Park. He was originally a fantasy baseball statistician during the 90s. This is like a Billy Bean kind of guy. He looks at the numbers beneath the numbers. And he later pivoted and he went into the industry that I'm in, telecommunications. But he's kind of the godfather of looking at numbers. He reports to all these Fortune 500 companies. Anyways, he made a post on LinkedIn talking about, hey, my friends, if you want to check this out, there's this new cool digital collectible. It's NFT based, but it's NBA highlights. And it was bizarre to see it from him. I know he is into sports and stuff, but I was like, man, that's interesting. And it just kind of came across my feed. I scrolled past it. And probably a week later, I don't know, maybe I was on Twitter, I was on some form of social media, and there was another blog post or article about this NFT craze happening specifically with NBA Top Shot. And this was February 21st. So if anybody's playing along at home, that is at February 20th to the 22nd was when the market that's when you see that vertical line happen and everything went like 10x, 15x, 20x, all these moment valuations. So that's when I came on. My registration, my sign up date is February 22nd, which is the peak of the market. If you could actually have picked a worse day to get involved and buy your first moment on the site, it would be February 22nd, my sign up date. So I got that going for me. But yeah, I checked out the site and I was like, dude, this is amazing. I thought the interface was super progressive, forward. It was just very cool. And then it took what I liked about money markets, like investing in certain entities, and then it integrated that with basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan, love the NBA, watch it every night. I'm very involved with rookies, mid-tier players, up and comers, and I know what a good highlight is. So I felt like this combines the best of both worlds. I had done a little bit of investing in the money markets, but I really didn't understand, why a stock went up or why certain ones went down, even if companies did well. I didn't have that kind of grasp of the market. But with Top Shot, I felt like this is something I can understand. So that's how I got involved with it. And like I said, I got involved at the market peak, and it's just been.
I would love to know the percentage of people that found out about Top Shot via LinkedIn. I feel like that has to be like a pretty small Venn diagram.
Yeah, and I actually got invited. It's crazy because somebody else. There's a guy that I connected with recently, and he made a video about it. He's all about making videos on LinkedIn. He made a video about it, and I left a comment, and I was like, "Hey, I got involved, and I got this Damian Lillard moment, or I forget what I said, but yeah." And he actually invited me. He created this like group on LinkedIn about. There's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of us. I'm like the only one that even posts anymore in it. But yeah, I don't think that's the crossover. I think more people actually came from maybe Reddit. I'm not sure, the crypto world or NFT kind of in general. But picking up on all those little nuances has been super fun to me. And then seeing that Top Shot had kind of integrated with Discord, and that's where the community aspect really jumps off. That was the exciting part. Well, I came across I don't know, that YouTube hit me with a targeted ad.
Hell
It was
yeah.
one morning, I was checking out the marketplace. I was hopping on YouTube, and there was this morning marketplace. And I checked out the show, and I was like, dude, this is genius. This is what my mornings are anyway. Talking about what happened in the NBA the previous night, and then being able to correlate it into, well, how does that affect these moment valuations? I just thought this is so cool. And just the whole setup and the interaction with the chat, I was like, man, I got to be involved with this community.
It's funny. I was talking about this a little bit last night with the On the Moment guys. I'm excited now that the market has leveled out in a way a little bit, because now, the reason that I started this show was I was like, I love basketball so much. I'm excited to, watch, like, dive into the games and see how, like, performances are going to impact the market. And what we found all through February and March is that there weren't really any impacts, but it's because of how new we were and how the growth was. And now, but now that we've gotten to a baseline, it feels like you're seeing a player has a good game, stock goes up a little bit. Player, is not in the news for a while, it goes back down. So I'm excited to see that maybe this will actually provide value, where for the first month or so of the show, it was more of just a fun hang while talking about basketball. But all that to say, I'm excited to have you on because, I think it's easy for a lot of the people that are making content right now got in a little bit earlier, right? And so it's easy to be like, hey, Top Shot's the best because look at my account valuation. Where, if you got in February, where a lot of the chat is, saying like similar story. I saw Dominic drop something out. I saw like Jay Worley joined February 28th, heard about it on ESPN Radio, March 3rd. Like a lot of people got some stuff and then saw it tank right now. Or saw it tank. So I think it's important to hear different perspectives of people who got in at different places too, because it just provides, a different experience, and hearing from someone who's still like maybe in the red or still like climbing out versus someone who's like got retirement money out of it. Not that that's what I have, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and you had actually you spoke my thoughts into existence. It was probably, the first week of March, I remember getting a Seeing Stars pack. I pulled a Ben Simmons and I checked my account valuation on Moment Ranks like 3 days later. And I had like 3x. I put like a couple $100 in, and my account was valued at like 600. And I'm showing my friends, I'm like, dude, this is amazing. This is better than crypto. And, obviously, it's come down since then. But you spoke my thoughts into existence when you said, listen, my plan was never to put money in February and then pull it all out in April. When I became aware of Top Shot, I was just so excited at how just clean and efficient the aesthetic of the interface was, and how cool this kind of collectible world was. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, in a few years, this is going to be worth something. I kind of like rehearsed myself on, they're in beta. It hasn't even been released to international markets. This might not even be what it looks like in a year or two. And I just started to think about, I missed the Bitcoin craze back in 2009 and 2010. I actually first heard about Bitcoin in 2009 and did not invest at all. Yeah. And I remember in 2013, I was like, I don't really know. But it felt like, getting in on Top Shot right now in these first 8 months was like getting in on Bitcoin back in 2009, 2010. And I really believe that, if you're in Top Shot right now, even if you're in the red several $1,000s, if we take a long view of this, is that even going to that? It's going to be a footnote joke when you tell the story of Top Shot in 5 years, because I really think what they're doing. Think about it. Roham has built the biggest marketplace, the fastest growing marketplace in the history of fastest and marketplaces ever. They've done what, close to $1 billion?
Yeah,
in 7.5 months. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
Like, cocaine didn't even do that in the 70s when it came out in America. It's taken off like wildfire.
And we know how successful cocaine's been. So only to the moon from here. No, I'm with you. Part of me thinks that I use that whole train of thought of like, I wasn't planning on getting out in April anyways. So like to justify it going down, right, where it's like, oh, it's fine. But when it's going up, I'm definitely guilty of just like refreshing all the green, right? So so I get both sides of it where I'm still not. Matthew laughed. Did someone say cocaine? Cocaine kind of outtake.
I know. There goes the morning.
I just want to say the chat has been fired today. There's been a lot of stuff about how you show up to work dressed like you should, and I'm in a dirty t-shirt, I believe was described, which this is a clean t-shirt. And then where was it? Beamer said Sawyer throws something against the window behind you. Deep threats bullish on coke. Second cocaine mention of the morning.
Oh,
yeah,
there goes the sponsorship money.
This is good. Or there comes some new sponsorship money. I am in New York. So Sawyer, I guess like, and you've done some really good stuff. You've thrown a couple of videos in the Discord. We've got a video now up on YouTube, just kind of about like how you're diving into the marketplace. But I guess like take us through. Let's talk about like what you're doing right now without, you don't have to divulge every moment you're going after, but like what's your strategy right now? Like, how are you attacking the marketplace? We're seeing everything kind of creep back up a little bit. We're not seeing a spike, but we're seeing it like slowly grow. So how are you kind of attacking stuff right now?
Yeah. So I think, over the past couple months, it's been really difficult to make any kind of purchases, right? Just because everything, you buy one day and 2 days later, it's down 10%, and it's been steady like that. And in the past week, what I'm super excited about is it's kind of leveled off and it's kind of jumped up a little bit. I think I took a look at some numbers this morning. It looks like, excuse me. There was a small dip, like a 1% dip in the S1 base set market cap, but I'm not worried about that. Like I think it went down 0.86%, but I think the conditions of the market are healthier than they have ever been, which I think is more important than any type of 10% increase in 24 hours. And so I'm really looking, I'm kind of forecasting for the month of May. Now I keep a long-term philosophy, going. That's the underpinning of all my decisions. But I am taking a look at some quick flips going into the playoffs, right? Building up the dapper balance as we head into the off season, which I think is going to be critical for anyone that plans on participating in Top Shot next season and beyond, is building up that dapper balance. And so I'm trying to view this as, okay, in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a new narrative on the NBA with the play-in, right? ESPN's going to go wild with it. It's going to be on local news. It's going to be in the newspapers. It's going to be in media, on social media. And I think that will translate into new user signups. I think we're going to see an influx of new users, actual human beings, not just bots. And so who are these? If I'm new to Top Shot and I try to think back to what I did in that, late February, I hopped on the site in late February and everything was like a few $100s. and LeBron's going for like 15 grand. I mean, it was insane. But if you get on the site now and you jump on and, they're going to search LeBron James, Steph Curry, Zion Williamson, and they're going to notice, hey, look, LeBron's cheapest moment is $70. And then I think the next one is like $400 or $500. And so I think users are going to go after these 35K comments, right? There's about the top 10 players, like when we talk about Steph, Giannis, Kawhi, Harden, Durant, Kyrie, they've all got these 35K common moments really in between. I think like Kyrie's going for like $9 right now, 9 to 30, right? And, LeBron's up here at 70. But I think what I'm looking to do is accumulate these star players and identify additional players like Randle, who I think will dominate and stand out in the playoffs. I think LaMelo's a great purchase. Miles Bridges, who's guaranteed to be on highlight reels every night, trying to accrue those entry-level moments. And then I've created a player index, and I'm actually tracking it. And I think to expect a 20 to 25% return. Again, this is not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. However, we are going to use financial terms in discussing this. But to get a 20 to 25% return, if you sink, I don't know, 100, 200 bucks in these 35K comments, can we then turn that into 125, 250 bucks? cash that out at the end of the playoffs, and then use that as a dapper balance to start identifying some premium Top Shot debut S1 moments. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I it's funny when you mention the 35K and the chat's into it. I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat for that. Also a lot of UFC chatter in there. So, hey, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, look at our show notes, get in the Discord. We get some UFC chatter, like the stream, do all the business stuff. Yeah. The Discord's wilding. The Discord is a great time. Honestly, when we started the Discord, I thought it was going to be for like 15 people, and I thought it was going to be a shit show. So it's been a lot of fun. So jump in there. But to your point on the 35K moments, I think like my biggest leak in my collecting game is properly evaluating those or being able to see. I think I've gotten so tunnel vision on Series 1, which I'm not. I still strongly believe in that. Like, I think that's where my Series 1, my Top Shot debuts, and my stars, like that's how I'm attacking everything. But I'm also in a situation, because I got in when I got in, that it's a little bit easier for me to make those moves. But I think like. And I've almost I think the chat would call me out if I didn't say I've dismissed the 35K moments, but I have for the most part, except if, I got a LeBron, a Steph, just like guys that I like rooting for, happily will scoop them. But trying to figure out what that looks like a year from now, 3 years from now, like what the utility of the 35K moments looks like, how the serials continue to grow. I think my ability to see what that's going to look like has been, I don't know if it's been wrong. I'm having a tough time wrapping my head around it. With the smaller stuff, I was able to like articulate what I thought they'd be worth moving forward. And I still like haven't figured out the 35K, I think because of like this unknown, right? There's a lot of unknown. We don't know. Is it going to go to 50K? Is it going to go to 100K? Like what is it going to look like? So it's a lot of speculation.
Sure. Yeah. And on that point specifically, and this is pure speculation, but I have every expectation that, again, the user base is going to grow significantly during this month of May and then into the off season. And then, we get into October, November as the NBA season starts up. I think they're going to do some marketing then. I don't know any of this. This is just kind of what I've been able to come up with myself. But as the user base grows, they're going to have to increase these serial counts, right? They're going to have to supply the market with enough product for people to go out and make these purchases. So I think that 35Ks get dismissed because, when you look at it in the here and now, they're outrageous serial counts. When you can get a 15K or 7.5K, or even, these hustle and show moments, they're 18K, right? But when you take the longest view in the room, and you say, well, what are the serial counts going to be 2 years from now? They're going to be significantly higher than 35. And when you view it from that end of the spectrum, you realize that, wow, 35,000 is not a lot, especially for a star player who's going to matter in 2 seasons from now, right? What's going to be the trajectory of the Brooklyn Nets 2 years from now if they get 2 more championships, or LeBron, if he gets 2 more championships with AD out in LA? So, the sharpest take is obviously Series 1, Top Shot debut moments of rising players, star players, rare moments. That's obviously, the sharpest play. Not all users, like nobody comes to Top Shot with that, like, oh, I'm coming on here because I understand between Series 1 and Series 2. That's stuff that you learn in your first month. Hopefully, if you get involved with a sharp and savvy Discord channel. But it took me, like, one of my worst purchases, I spent $175 on a Damian Lillard 35K. So $175 on Damian. It was a step back 3. It was a 3-digit serial, right? But that was in March because I didn't understand that. Like, I kind of got serial numbers, but I really didn't. And I didn't understand that like 35,000 is a lot more than, say, like 1,500. Yeah. And so it's going to take users time to get familiar with all of that. And as they get familiar, they'll understand, like, scarcity reigns supreme here. Player notoriety, it comes second. Different things like that. So, and that's kind of the fun part of Top Shot, is we're all learning together. Yeah. Being in the Discord channel, I'll come out with takes, and then someone will say, no, I think it's this way. And I'll say, you know what? They're right. Yeah, that does make sense. That actually is making a little bit more sense.
I mean, we talked about this, right? Like, and you kind of talked about two different things there, right? Where one is like being able to take the L, right? It's okay. It's okay you can be wrong. Like you're allowed to be wrong. And that means either moving off a thing or just like adjusting your strategy based on the information you have now, right? And so I think that's important to continue to like allow your strategy to evolve. And I've said this before, that LeBron series too, that I don't know, it's probably worth like 900 now, and I moved off of it on when it was like 150 because I was like, series 2 doesn't matter. Series 1 is the only thing that matters. And I'm moving off all of those series 2 stars to then collect more money to get like DeJounte Murray series 1 to do like all of those things, right? And I still believe in those series 1 moments, but it's adjusted where it's like, okay, but like LeBron's LeBron. So you don't necessarily need to sell low on LeBron just to get series 1 stuff. So I think that's sharp. But the other thing too about the resources, right? Like finding a Discord that's sharp and like taking in other people's information. Like the First Mint does great stuff. Own the Moment does great stuff. Like there's resources out there that analyze it in a way, not necessarily that you need to analyze it, but just seeing someone else analyze the data helps you wrap your head around things a little bit more.
And let me just give a quick shout out to all the tools and resources in the Top Shot community. Not only the Discord channels, right? And there's several different ones that you can become a part of. I personally believe that Team Hold has the best Discord channel. Not only in like the air of it, but just all of the takes and community members going on. So big shout out to the Discord channel. Another plug: if you're not involved, I don't know what you're doing with your time. Yeah. Get involved. But when I got involved, were there tools? Yeah, absolutely. But they weren't as advanced and developed. Like how they've come in the past couple months, like Own the Moment, OTM NFT, their site is ridiculous. The data repository, addmorefunds.com, rookshot.market, flow market cap, all of these different tools have become so much more advanced, and they've kind of, like Raven or Live Token to be able to scope good deals or put email alerts up. There's a bunch of content creators on YouTube that have made videos on how to use these types of things. Those have come so far, and that's really enhanced anybody that's a value investor in Top Shot. There was a period when I tried to snipe moments, paying for Raven. And what I realize now is the bots will get that before you will. Right. If it's a significant margin below what the fair market value is, a bot's coming in, you'll never get your hands on it. But that really made me pivot towards value investing, doing research on, for a couple days, and just realizing that because I'm taking a 5-year view of this, what does it matter? Like if a moment's valued at $200 and I get it for $205 instead of $180, what does that matter 5 years from now when it's worth $2,000?
Yeah, I mean,
and about $20,
and that's what it is so hard to nail the top and the bottom. Which again, saying that in the morning, just got to be careful. But it is so hard to hit that, right? And then followed it up with hit that. What am I doing? But it is so hard to get that, and I think creating ranges is, for me anyways, is sharper than just being like 150. That's what I'm spending. Where I'm like, okay, this, like that Kevin Porter Jr. moment that I've talked about way too much, right? It's at like 348 right now, and I'm happy getting it. I'm gonna wait for a while now, but like say it gets down to 325, but I'm comfortable spending 350 on it. I'm going to keep monitoring it then, because I'm like, oh, maybe it's going to go down a little bit further, because at that point it's like, it's a win. But if it creeps back up, it's still in the price range of like where I was happy to get it. Cause you're right. I think when you're like stressing out over like a $5 or $6 thing, it just makes it a lot harder for you. And not to like, I get it. Everyone's got a different spending budget with this. So I'm not suggesting that at all. I just mean, it's just too hard to be like, okay, I got to make sure I get it at $4 or whatever. So I'm with you on that. There was Weston had a question that I wanted to share that I lost a little bit. Also, someone's driving by with like incredibly loud music, and I feel like an old man right now. Where is it? Okay, Weston's right here. Is flipping Series 2 common right now really worth it for Series 1 if we're going to be having a large influx of new users in the next 3 months?
So I believe so. Yeah, I think that if you're a new user coming to the site, they're not going to understand in that first. I mean, think back to when you're on your first 10 days of the site. Do you understand the difference between Series 2 and Series 1? And some of these like I mean, maybe some of them will, but I think because of the lowest barrier to entry, right? You can get superstar players for $20 or less, right? With pretty good highlights, right? Of your favorite players on your favorite teams. I think that's where they're going to gravitate towards first. And I think any collector holding on, to those kind of moments can make short-term gains. Obviously, I'm team hold, right? I don't want to advocate, quick flipping. That was just kind of something that I hadn't really talked about before. It's something that I'm going to be focused on in May. I'm going to do content on it. But yeah, I do think that I think that the 35K moments of star players, especially on playoff teams who are going to get mass exposure in these next few weeks, are a little bit undervalued, right?
Yeah, that's exciting. And this isn't even like good advice. But with the 35K moments, the way that I've kind of been approaching it, it's like, oh, I like this guy, and I feel like if I'm wrong or not wrong on 35K, but if 35K does take a spike, I'll be happy to have those moments of the guys that I really like. And if it doesn't spike, I'm still going to be happy to have those guys. So, and that's honestly, that's kind of how I've approached Series 1 as well and Series 2. Like, I'm just trying to, as a basketball fan, I like PJ Washington. I like Julius Randle. I like Zion. I mean, obviously I like Zion, but just trying to get the guys that I'm like happy to have win or lose, which again, not great financial advice, which is good because we don't give that here. But
yeah,
the idea,
go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. But before anything else, I'm a fan of basketball, right? Basketball is played at its highest level in the NBA. Ergo, I'm an NBA fan. But look, like if you go to my YouTube, like suggested videos, it's like high school basketball mixtapes and stuff.
Right.
I watch college games. So before anything else, I like getting good moments of the players that I like. My first moments on the site were Cole Anthony and Damian Lillard because I played point guard growing up, and those are like my favorite point guards in the league right now. When they release the Nico Mannion moment, I don't care what it's worth when it comes out. I know that it will be valued much higher because of the low circulation. I'm getting several of them because I love Nico Mannion. I don't care that I'm going to take a hit on it. Now, there are other moments that I'm like, hey, I think that this is undervalued on the website. And I think if I get it right now, it's going to be worth something, immediately or even later on down the road. I do take that philosophy. But number one, more than anything else, and I would highly encourage this because it's not financial advice, it's collection advice. Get what makes you happy. If you think a moment is cool, get it. I love buzzer beater game winners. There's no other feeling in the world like hitting a buzzer beater game winner. If you played sports growing up and you were lucky enough or talented enough to hit one of those, you know what it's like. The teammates around you. I love those moments. Those captured in the NBA. There's nothing like it. And so I've gone out. You got the Harrison Barnes one, the Cole Anthony, Damian Lillard with the Lexus in the background with the kick. I mean, oh God, I love those moments. That's what attracted me. Obviously, I have my Randall plays or even Miles Bridges dunking. I just think those are great basketball highlights, independent of any like financial valuation down the road. And that's what I would encourage people to do most is become a fan, get invested in the game itself.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Pete Overzet about this a while ago. And just how it's been cool for people who were maybe fans on they don't follow basketball, but like if it's on, they're like, oh yeah, I like basketball, and how this platform is kind of gotten people sucked back into the game again, which is so cool. I love that. I love that it's been, because it does when you have, I mean, that's why I like daily fantasy sports so much. It's like another rooting interest in the sport. So it gets me like super sucked in. And I think that's what this is acting like for a lot of people, which is pretty cool. I wanted to, the chat's been really good. There's been a lot of funny stuff and good questions. This wasn't a question, but it's going to lead us to a question. Juvie says, fuck challenges. So how have you been, like, what have you been doing with challenges? Have you been, or just like, what's been your approach with them?
Yeah. So when I first got on the site, it was like $6,000 to do a challenge, right? I'm not dumping $6,000. And I didn't really understand challenges. Actually, what helped me understand challenges a lot was the Discord, was the challenges channel, which has gone into like, it's like Roswell based at this point. But originally, people talking about it, I was like, oh, okay. So I get all these moments and then I get this moment that is only going to be available to people like me who have completed the challenge.
Mhm.
I looked at, and then you talking about the challenges, your involvement with it and talking about it every day, I got more and more familiar with it. I actually just Neil Diamond Hands and I just agreed to a trade where he's going to trade me his Ross, and I'm going to give up a couple of my moments for it. So I'll have 4 out of 5. I'm completing the Cool Cats 5 challenge. Because I like that Levine dunk. I think it's a cool moment in itself. B, I think that it just seems to me Top Shot is rewarding people that take advantage of the full menu offering on the site, right? So I've gotten packs. I've participated in the market challenge. I got badge moments, all these different things, but I haven't done a challenge. So I'm doing this one. It's the cheapest challenge. You can get it done. I started off with the Clint Capella. I think I picked up the John Collins before it hit $20. I did get the BAM at 48 because I was like, oh man, this BAM might go to 60. I'm now realizing that like I paid more than anybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm going to complete the challenge. I do think that it's going, I don't know. I've heard both. I've heard it back and forth. It is going to be required as a requirement for pack drops later on, or no, it's not, or don't complete a challenge just for that. I'm completing the challenge because I'm an immersive Top Shot experience, right? I haven't ordered that dish off the menu, and so I'd like to do it with this one. Yeah.
I go back and forth. I mean, I like with the Cool Cats, I want that thing to end. I want it to end. I want it to be over. And then I want them to ban, like I'm going to mute those words in the Discord. But I do think there's some like, as a collector, it's cool, right? It's cool. You're like, oh, I did the work and got a reward. I think it's an opportunity to get like a really good moment with a low serial for some of the more expensive ones, right? For the, when I was on the Moment show, Justin was talking about how he had completed that Giannis one for the Hollow recently and hit the number 3 Giannis, and that's like right, and that's like out of 40 or 30 something, right? So yeah, exactly, money. And so, or like the Zion one that I did, I got a 48 serial out of a 800 Zion. Like I'm never gonna hit that most likely never gonna get that on a pack. So in that aspect, it's like, that's pretty cool. That's a cool opportunity to get something like that. I think now that the prices are leveling out a little bit, it doesn't because when we looked at Cool Cats 2, which everyone just got absolutely smoked on. And if you joined the platform after Cool Cats 2, congratulations, because if there was joining right before that was probably the worst thing that could happen, because we saw all of those prices just go to the freaking moon. And now it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. But now that they are like, what's this one costing right now? Like $120, $115, something like that to complete it. It makes a little bit more sense, right? It's not like super minus EV anymore. And now, it's like you're probably not making a ton of money, but you're breaking even. And that's like the goal for this. And then you just hope you smack a low serial.
And that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about Top Shot is they're introducing, it's like a whack-a-mole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as you get comfortable, like with a portion of the marketplace, like, okay, I figured out Series 1 are undervalued, especially the Top Shot debut badge moments. They're like, oh, challenge. Mm-hmm. Or pack drop eligibility requirement. You need 15 moments. Or it's all about diversifying everyone's collection portfolio. And that's what's so fun about it, is there's moving parts that you've kind of got to keep up with every week. Like if you take 2 weeks off from Top Shot, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for you to pick up on when you return. And that's what I think is so just consistent about them, is they're releasing, it's like you're on like a mountain trail. Oh, there's a bobcat out here, I got to go down this way, or there's a running stream, I got to jump that, or whatever. It's like the Oregon Trail. You've got MRSA or whatever. Like, there's just you don't have MRSA with Top Shot. Sorry about that. But there's just so much going on, and so I think that some people are challenged out at this point. Like if you've done every challenge, you're just like waiting for that master challenge reward at this point. But for collectors that have got on the site in the past couple of weeks, it's something, take a look at it. See if that's something that you want to get into later.
I've kept saying too, and I know where's Gershon? Gershon said landed a pack thinking of going for the Giannis reward, and that's I think a lot of it reminds me of like what I was saying a while ago. Wait, what's up?
I'm sorry, Tommy G2K.
That's great, dude. But yeah, anytime someone says dysentery, I'll share it. But it all depends, right? Like if you didn't get a pack, now it's a little bit more work to complete a challenge versus if you got a pack and you already have one of those moments, and then say you pull the Rudy, which is like the most expensive one, then it's like, okay, I'm a little bit, the percentage of completion is a little bit closer than it was before. Maybe it makes sense for me to go get it, which was like my point about going back to Rising Stars. If you get the LaMelo, it's a lot easier to get that Anthony Edwards. So it makes sense to kind of go out of your way if you have the funds to do so to complete that, because a lot of people, if you don't have the LaMelo, you're not going to complete that challenge. And same thing that I did with the Halliburton for the Zion. So I think like, context always matters especially for some of the more expensive ones, but like, I'm not going to go after the hustle and slow challenge mainly because I didn't get a pack. So I just like, I'm not interested. I'm not a percentage of the way there. So I'm not interested. And I don't know if I would have anyways, because I think it's cool what they're doing with hustle and slow, but it's not moving the needle for me right now. Yeah.
No, I think they're trying to widen the base right now, right? Like they're preparing to scale, right? Mm-hmm. And shout out to Top Shot. I just want to, if you were not here like in late February, early March, it was like, and you'll remember this, and it was probably worse before then. They would announce a pack drop, everybody would rush to the Discord and join the queue, and then they'd be like, no, just kidding. Actually, we're going to release it. They'd schedule for like 11 a.m. No, it's going to come out later this afternoon at 5 p.m. And then it was always in West Coast times, which is you're like trying to like, wait, 11 plus 3, but then there's 12. Okay, 2. All right. But and then it would come around at late afternoon and they'd be like, actually, it's going to be tomorrow. And then you would wait till tomorrow. The hype would build up to this insane boiling over. And then they'd be like, oh, it's actually going to be 72 hours later. They would do that. It seemed like a part of their marketing strategy was to like build this momentum up. And they've come so far with like these pre-registrations, 300,000 people getting in line. And people are now like, it took me 3 hours to get my pack. I'm like, dude, it used to take 3.5 days to get a pack. And there was 60,000 of them.
There was a time.
They're getting ready to scale.
Yeah, there was a time you wouldn't even open the pack. So you'd get the pack and then you would try to open it and it wouldn't open. And then the moments would just appear. They would just appear in your account. So it's gone wild. Also, you mentioned the West Coast thing. Dustin and Greg, I swear, are like slowly gaslighting me into moving to LA. Like I now talk to them in West Coast time, where it's like, oh, we're doing the show tonight at 5, and it's like it's 8 o'clock my time, but I only speak West Coast time now. So shout out to Dustin and Greg. Also, shout out Schleier22. Saw you on the OTM. Thanks for coming over, man. We appreciate it.
Wow, shout out OTM. Okay.
Also, I do keep calling it hustle and slow, which is a different pack. But no, you're right, man. They've come a long way. They've come a really long way with the pack drop. So we haven't had many issues with that. I was making fun of the WPT NFT drop that was supposed to happen Sunday night, Monday morning, and they crashed immediately. It just crashed immediately. And so to see like how much they've scaled up in such a short amount of time, where it's just seamless. You get outside of a stress test, right? They told us hustle and show was coming, and then we got an email that it was coming, and then we got another email that the drop was happening now. And it's like that's great. That's incredible. It's good for everybody.
And people take that for granted, but that's so hard to execute.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready. Like I said, they're getting ready to scale. And so they're trying to make everything available to the common collector. Yeah. Right? Not everybody's going to be able to jump on the site and get a hollow icon. It's just not, or even a rare or S1, right? But what they're trying to do is make it so that a common man can step on to the site and say, you know what, start to forecast. Well, I need these 5 moments. They're valued at between $20 and $30. Okay, so it's going to cost me about $120 to complete this challenge. I get the challenge moment, and it's going to be worth about that. So I break even on it.
Yeah,
that's what that's what's going to attract most people. That's the healthiest standard. I know a lot of people in the Discord are like, they get upset because they join Top Shot and their account doesn't 5x in 7 days. But that's not healthy. No. That's not sustainable. No marketplace in the world exists like that. Yeah. I think a lot of people have become confused because of the crypto craze. But building sustainable growth, right, where you go up maybe 5% in a week, down 2%, and then up another 3%, and then broadcasting that out over the course of 12 months, that's sustainable, healthy growth. And that's where we're going to see the healthiest returns on all of our valuations and investments, not financial advice.
Right. But it goes back to what we said too, right? Where I think the biggest positive sign that we're seeing right now is the market's starting to make sense. And I think that's a good sign, because it wasn't making sense when it was 10xing, because you were seeing stupid stuff become super expensive. We're like, this person's not good. This person, it should not be up there. Also, John Weingart, Hustle and Slow would be the Plumlee and Zeller brothers. I love that. I love that. But it's making sense now. You're seeing the market's reacting to the sport. It's reacting to the game. So
especially with that Randle evaluation,
dude, you nailed it, Sawyer. I should have listened to you earlier as it started.
Look, dude, big shout out to you, because when I first got on the show, you were talking about Michael Porter Jr. And I was like, man, this is, I guess he was like the best player in high school, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And like, he didn't do much at Mizzou. He's been kind of underwhelming. And I thought when Jamal Murray went down, I thought the Nuggets were going to tank. You've been on the Nuggets since the get-go. They've gotten even better with Murray out, which is even a stronger case for Jokic. And Michael Porter is like, is he better than Jamal Murray at this point? I mean, like, dude, he's playing out of his mind right now.
It's nuts.
So
and I know
you were on that from the get-go. That's a bigger, better call than my Randle.
No, well, the thing with Michael Porter Jr. was just that Mike Malone, and I watched so much Nuggets basketball because I love Jokic so much. I remember when Jokic and Nurkic were on the Nuggets together, and I was so excited. I was like, just start those dudes at the 4 and 5. Let's get weird. But
brothers, yeah.
But the Michael Porter Jr. stuff, I was just like, man, if he sucked at defense so bad last year that Malone was like, I can't do this. We're a good team. I can't have you learning along the way because you're killing us. But now they just don't have a choice, and he has to play. And he's getting better defensively, so his minutes are going to be more secure. So I'm a fan of him both as an investment, but also like I just love watching that dude play. He's going to make one bonehead play a game, but he's also going to make like 5 plays a game that you're like, holy shit. He's just so good. He's so
uber talented. Yeah, he would. I mean, coming out of high school, listen, I watch high school basketball. He was the number 1 prospect coming out of high school. I mean, he was kind of hailed as, this new kind of hybrid, small forward, power forward that can handle the ball kind of player. It kind of seems like Tatum overtook him in that role. He was supposed to be what Tatum has become. But to your credit, you called that up early on.
Yeah, I also want to say a deep thread is not going to let that hot take go unfounded. That Michael Porter Jr. is better than Jamal Murray. You can say deep thread.
That is a hot take. That's a hot take. Yeah.
We'll cut that out. Put that in the hot take segment.
That's super hot. Yeah.
But yeah, I forget where we left off on that when I got too excited about Michael Porter Jr. and started talking. But I guess so what are you doing? Give the people a little bit of a taste. I know you've got a spreadsheet of moments that you're analyzing and keeping an eye on. Is there anything in particular right now that you're like I've got my eyeball on this and I want to see what's gonna happen over the next month or so?
Obviously, let's dive into some of the underneath players. I think RJ Barrett is pretty. I think that's an interesting play, right? If you want to call that up, for a couple different reasons. Obviously, he's on the Knicks. He's playing really well. His play has really taken off this season. He's playing within that offense. His numbers are up across the board. Tibbs is giving him increased loads on offense, and he's executing on it. And remember, RJ, when he came out of high school, it was like he was ranked ahead of Zion. It was like him, Zion, and Cam were kind of 1, 2, and 3. Cam Reddish, that is. Another interesting player. But RJ specifically, I think the Knicks are going to do damage in the playoffs. They're in the biggest basketball market in America. There's going to be an influx of New York City users that come on. And I think that those are some interesting parameters surrounding any of his moments just in general. The other thing is he's going to play in the Olympics for the Canadian national team. And I think these international players that are going to go back to their home countries and play for their teams, it just creates more exposure, right? They're going to be on TV. They're going to be talked about on ESPN as new users sign up for the site. And maybe we get some international users. All it takes, think about or even Rui, right? All it takes is one whale in Japan to get on the site and say, you know what? I'm buying every Rui moment. I don't care what it costs. I'm going out and I'm getting those moments. And so there's going to be whales from these international markets that come on. Obviously, I'm not talking like Canadian whales. I just think that players that are playing for their international teams, Luka or Domantas Sabonis, I think is ridiculously undervalued on the site. I mean, he's an all-star. He's going to be a perennial all-star. What did he do last night? Did he put up a triple-double? I know he got outshined because Westbrook did
it was 32 and 19. I don't know what the assist number was, but it was 32. He's a monster.
Yeah, it was like 32, 19, and 6. And he plays the game of basketball so fluid. It's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
He goes up against these bigger players and just out-finesses them. I think that the Pacers have something really special to build around him. He's passionate about the game. He came up in an NBA family. I think he's particularly undervalued. I think anybody on the Hornets, right? You're hot and heavy on PJ Washington. Love PJ. His moment has, his stuff has gone off the Richter scale.
Yeah.
They're just an exciting team to watch in basketball. So you got Miles Bridges, who I did some stuff on. Scary Terry. I mean, he went off last night. Good God. LaMelo, right? This is going to be a fun team to watch. That this site Top Shot skews younger. I think it's very millennial heavy. But this is going to be a team that attracts. It's owned by Jordan. They've got the social media grasp down. These are teams or players from teams I'm looking at, and they just, you got Eric Collins, he's calling the games. I wish they would do a moment with him, with that voice in the background.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. I think Lonzo Ball, this is a pick that nobody's really talking about. I don't think he's going to pan out in New Orleans, right? I think he's going to leave this offseason. I don't expect him to be on the team next year. I think his moments are a little bit undervalued. He's a Ball brother. He's always going to be in the news. He's very well known. If he leaves for another team, they'll LE his moments, right? I just think they're undervalued. If he leaves and goes to another team and they're a title contender, imagine if he went to New York, how much better they would get.
It does feel like, right, the New York, Chicago rumors are the things that continue. And it does feel New York needs a point guard, right? That's the one that Elf Payton is not it anymore. And it does feel like that's what they're going to address in the offseason. And they don't have a lot of point guards available that can move the needle. And I do think the way Lonzo shoots and moves the ball, because he doesn't need the ball, and Julius Randle does right now. So I think it would be a good fit. I'll be very curious to see if that happens.
And Lonzo plays defense. I think he fits in, big time over there. I'm really bullish on Damian Lillard, especially on a long term. I just think I'm so shocked that the Blazers have not pulled through in the second half. They played so well through injuries. They got healthy, and I think that can become difficult. It changes the nature, the dynamic of a team when people get healthy. You're seeing it with the Lakers. They don't know how to play with AD, Drummond, and AD on the court, or LeBron, AD, and Drummond on the court. So that happened with the Blazers, but I think Lillard is undervalued across the board on the site just because he could legitimately win an MVP in the next 3 years. He's in a really small market. We can talk a little bit about Oklahoma City. They're in tank mode, right? They're employing Sam Hinkie's process that he put out in Philadelphia 5 years ago, which is we're gonna send off all our top contract talent, right? They told Al Horford, who was having his best year in 5 years, thanks but no thanks. You're doing too much right now. Exactly. You talked about Shea Gilgeous, Alexander Walker, or Shea Gilgeous, Alexander.
I like that, dude.
Yeah. That's for hardcourt when they combine both those players. But you talked about him. I think that these guys are truly unique because I think that it's going to be like Oklahoma City was 8 years ago, where you've got Harden, Westbrook, and KD who no longer play for that organization and are all on different teams now and beasting out all in their own regards. You're going to have these players. They're not going to be able to keep all these players. They're too talented. You look at Poku, Oh my gosh. I got to do a whole video on Poku. I'll premiere kind of what that's going to look like right now. But this kid, Alexei Pokushevsky, with the social media friendly nickname Poku. It's fun to say. This kid is 19 years old. He just turned 19 in January, right? He's closer to being 18 than he is to being 20. He dropped 25 in the NBA as a 19-year-old. He's 7 foot and moves like Kevin Durant. I know this is a super hot take. I'm talking about this kid. He's a string bean. Let him get on an NBA diet plan. Pump this kid up with protein and carbs. And he puts on 20 pounds of muscle. Dude, it's going to be amazing what this kid does. The long-term hold value on his triple badge moment. I mean, it's just, we've been watching it since it was at 200. It's down at 80. It's going to go down even further. I think that's super undervalued. All these rookies on these sheets, Lugens, Dort, you've got the Dort report, shout out to Dirty Muppets. Dort, these guys I think are super interesting because, again, I don't think they're all going to last in Oklahoma City. They can't. They're going to get shipped for different assets moving forward. And if you can get their rookie moments, imagine what it would be like to have James Harden's OKC moments on the website right now, or KD's Seattle Supersonics moment on Top Shot right now. It's different. It's not going to exist ever again. Yeah. I think that stuff is, Alexander Antoine Walker. Yeah,
I know, so good, Kevin. So good. I think right for OKC, there's a lot of flyers you can take where I do believe like SJ and Dort are good players that will be on good teams. And I feel, and obviously those are the more expensive ones, but those are also, I think those both provide a floor and a ceiling. Like I think Dort is good. SJ is very, very good. I really like those. And you're right. We have to call out that you said Poku and Durant in the same sentence. Like we do have to say that.
Go ahead, I'm here for the hot takes.
But and Zach Feiner saying like Baisley, like they do have a lot of pieces that are super interesting that I don't think you're gonna get smoked on, which I like. Like it's not a huge investment to take that risk while also it still provides a decent ceiling that you can see. So I like all of those calls and those rookie moments too. I always go back and forth where like Aaron Nesmith, I've been beating the hell out of this whole year because he's been bad. But in the last 10 days, all of a sudden Nesmith's like the third best player on the Celtics all of a sudden. And to see that first moment down at 47, I'm still going to monitor it. I'm not saying go scoop it, but that's the Celtics are going to be good, not this year, but they are going to be good. And if he's a serviceable rotation guy, I kind of like that.
Triple badge up. Denny Avdia.
I know. And we're probably going to we'll see that price continue to go down while he's got that fractured ankle, right? But that's, again, $75.
Injury discount. Injury discounts on Top Shot is real, right? People get players get injured. Like, look at Murray. You know what I mean? I mean, his Top Shot, his Series 1, the handles, it wasn't a Top Shot debut, but it got down to like $80. I think it's like floating around 100 right now. But that's like real. There's no way Jamal Murray, his Series 1 moment. Yeah, it's at 104 now. I mean, even that's cheap, right? That guy could come back and like play in all-star games for the next 5 years. And no, that's not a hot take, right?
No, Jamal Murray's great.
Yeah. And so you've got players like that. I like the international players. I think that they're undervalued on the website. Like if a couple whales get involved with from Israel, and they're like, dude, I just want to have Denny. There's a YouTube content creator. I'm not going to shout him out directly on this channel.
You can. We're not worried about competition. You can
all right, yeah. It's not competition. This is, you know what I mean. We're all lifting each other up. It's Ballers Blockchain, but it's this. He's got an Australian accent. Yeah, and he's got And he went out. He's been like talking about Patty Mills, and he loves Patty Mills because he's from Australia. Which absolutely, like, you know what I mean. Like, dude, I like Nico Mannion because he's like, a little point guard, just like I was or whatever. And we got, we're not gingers. This is Auburn caramel, hot take. But so he loves Patty Mills because he's an Aussie, right? You're already seeing that. The international market supports their players, man. They love them. Mm-hmm. Japan, when they get involved with this, only because Japan is so technologically forward-minded, right? Like this is going to make sense to them. Digital collectibles to Americans are like, what? Can't I just watch a clip on YouTube? But like with the Japanese, I think they'll get it, and they're going to support Rui. The Israelis are going to support Denny. There's not a bunch of Israeli players in the NBA.
Listen,
so
if we get
down with those moments,
if we get an Armenian in the league, I'm emptying Brinkstrucks. Like,
boom,
I get it.
Like, imagine if there was like an Irish guy on the
and he could be a 15th man on like a G League team,
and he would be.
And he would be.
So these different moments, I know a lot of people are super hot on the Miami Heat. They did really well in the bubble last year. I think I've seen a lot of chatter of people expecting them to repeat, in their playoff performance. So people looking at Tyler Hero, I mean, his price has come down a lot. If you believe in Tyler Hero that he's going to be worth something in the NBA, I think he's at a discount right now. But his pricing has been affected by his play and performance.
Yeah, he's been rough.
Yeah, he's been doing better, on social media than he has on the court. For sure.
And I know he's dinged up right now, but the Heat in general, I would be right because they're going to come in at a 6 or a 7 seed, and you got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Like it's going to be. I wouldn't be shocked if they're one and done. But I wouldn't be shocked if they won a couple rounds either, So that's a tough team.
I'm bearish on the Heat's playoff chances. I don't think this is. I think they hit on something special last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all different types of plays right now. Obviously what I'm super focused on is tracking these series one, the Top Shot debut moments. The content you're doing with Own the Moment. I mean. Dude, those guys are giving out pure gold on their site, talking about the Top Shot debut badge moments, how undervalued they are right now. Cam Reddish, Anthony Edwards. These are the Detroit Pistons. Let's talk a little bit about the Pistons.
Let's do it.
Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, Beef Stew.
There we go.
They are like even Frank Jackson is balling.
Frank Jackson
They are fully loaded.
There's no Frank Jackson on the site. Frank Jackson is balling. It is wild. I saw that. I didn't mention him today but he had like 25 last night or something. But yeah, I'm with you, man. All of these, like Killian Hayes especially, dude. He was a sixth or seventh overall pick, and I get it. He got hurt right away. I get it. But and he's got real turnover problems. Like he does need to clean that up. He's been like that his whole like international career too, which is a little nerve-wracking. But he's good. He is good, and this is like a young team that's not going to be good for a little bit, but I do think there's a ton of value on Killian Hayes. Obviously, how I feel about Beef Stew, but Sadiq Bey is the one that's really blown up this year with his shooting, even though it looks broken.
Love Sadiq Bey. Yeah, I've watched a couple Pistons games. This kid can shoot the ball.
Yeah,
I mean he's already got a great NBA 3-point shot. They're not going to be able to keep everybody on that team, right? Especially if they pull like Cade, if they get the number 1 pick in the draft, there's just too much talent. They're all on these rookie cheap contracts. They've got a concentration of talent. They're going to get sniped off, right? Somebody's going to need a 3-point sharpshooter to make a deep playoff run eventually over the next couple seasons. Come on, Beck. Come on over here. We got a spot for you. You know what I mean? Killian Hayes, right? If they get another point guard like Cade, he's not, how are they going to fit that in, right? But yeah, I think Killian Hayes can be a really good point guard. Beef Stew, they've got a bunch of talent over there. And I think that they're in a smaller market. They're not performing really well. They're almost like tanking. They're not almost, they are tanking.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those moments, getting them in their first season is so important. They got nowhere else to go but up, especially if they go to another team and actually contribute to the winning, nature of that team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, listen, we're hitting that point where we're starting to run out of time. But before we do that, Sawyer, you got a pack to rip. Is that right?
Do I? Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa. Pulled a Hustle and Show pack, guys.
There we go.
Saved it like a psycho. Let me just to all these people saving packs on YouTube, you are psychotic. You're like sociopathic. Who denies? That's like when a puppy comes around. Oh, I'm not going to pet with the puppy. It's like, who can hold out on that type of enjoyment? I have held out on that type of enjoyment for the past 24 hours for the benefit of the content on this channel. So we're gonna release this pack. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I will say there appears to be a ton of financial value in holding packs, but you're right. I don't have the patience to do it.
God. Ugh. Dude, I felt like I've taken 2 showers since I just felt dirty. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, am I wearing pants? Something seems missing in my life.
Something's wrong.
All right, so what do we do? Share?
Yeah, share
Share
get a
screen,
bottom share
boom.
screen, and then I would instead of doing window,
Chrome tab.
Yeah, Chrome tab, and then click that share audio button before doing. Were you able to do that? Here, hold on. I'm gonna kick it from the studio, and then you can do it again.
Okay.
Oh wait, that might kick you completely though. So let's see. Damn it! I booted Sawyer. Sawyer, if you're still watching, just click the link. Sorry about that, Sawyer. Listen, now we can catch up on the chat. What if that was intentional? It wasn't. We love Sawyer. I'm waiting until New Year's Eve to open Christmas presents. Wow. R.I.P. I hope Sawyer still has his DM there. R.I.P. Sawyer. Sawyer, come back. All right, I'm gonna share the link with him. Here we go. He's back. Let's get him back in here. Sorry about that, Sawyer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, hold on. All right. So I'm doing. Can you do it? Should I do it? Share?
Yeah, so do share screen, and then when you go to Chrome tab, there's a little box in the bottom left that has like
share audio.
Yeah, so just click that because apparently the music bops. So
all right. So you guys see this? Everybody see this?
We can see it. Looks good.
Boom. All right, open your pack. God, look at it. It's look at the way it just wiggles at you. You know, God.
Here we go.
Open your pack. Almost there. Here we go. All right, who let's open this up
until I break a sweat. Ooh,
Oh wow.
I keep dripping, hit him with finesse. Ooh,
Wait, what is-
ooh, wet. Every
what?
day I wake, I know I'm
Is
blessed.
this-
Oh.
Ooh, ooh,
Oh my
wet.
God. All right, so
Like I
we'll do
barely hit
middle?
the net.
Let's do middle.
I don't stop until I break a sweat.
Here we go.
Whoa, Suns.
I keep dripping,
Deep
hit him with
Oh,
finesse.
Booker right off the bat.
Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed.
Game winner too, right?
Ooh, wet. Like I barely hit the net.
Over the Mavs?
Yeah, we love it.
Sweat.
They killed me on it. Earlier too,
Wet.
so yeah, let's
Sweat.
God,
Sweat.
love that.
Love it. That wasn't a game winner. I thought it was, but it's a big shot.
God, all right, let's go down here.
There we go.
Nuggets, Aaron Gordon.
Gordon.
Okay. All right.
Is that the first Gordon Nugget moment?
It got just what another elite finisher, which is on March 28th. Gotta be right.
Yeah, I would think so.
Soon to be MVP. Love it.
Dropping this early in the morning. Love it.
Yeah, we'll go here to this. All right, another Suns. Jay Crowder. All right.
Keep on looking in the
yeah.
mirror.
I love the
Not
Suns.
as exciting, but
My heart for the tears.
Playoff staple.
Decent cereal though, low 7,000.
I love this comment by CT. Rock and roll get hired by Dapper. Shout out Rock and Roll making all our feeds.
I'm charging when I'm drained. My news feed, my breakfast
All
from
right,
my
check
brain.
this one now.
I need my
Celtics, Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart.
The testicle slapper, Marcus Smart.
I don't stop until I break a sweat.
Gets it back, steal on Lillard.
Wet.
Like
I keep dripping, hit him with
Yeah.
finesse. Ooh,
That was a stick
ooh,
play.
wet. Every day I wake, I know I'm blessed.
Decent.
Ooh,
Last
ooh,
one.
wet.
Here's my number
Like I
one
barely
cereal.
hit the net.
Three-pointer Kings.
Harrison
Wet.
Barnes,
Harrison
game
Barnes, until I
winner.
break a sweat.
Love this. Game
I
winner.
keep dripping, hit him with
Two game
finesse.
winners over
Sweat.
here. Booker and Barnes.
Every
Love
day I
that.
wake, I know
Love
I'm
it.
blessed.
God, I wish I got a better cereal. That's a
Love it.
boom.
Wet. Sweat.
View my progress. Boom. All
Here we
right.
go.
We'll do the stop.
That was for you, Deep Thread. I saw that comment earlier that I didn't mention the testicle slap by Smart, so I made sure to throw it in there. Dude, Sawyer, thanks so much for coming on the Morning Marketplace. We'll definitely have you back again, especially maybe as we get into later into May as we're approaching the playoffs. Yeah, we'll get some playoff stuff in here.
Randall drops 50. Yeah, it's just boom.
There we go. It's happening. It's happening. If you get in the Discord, if you haven't, there you can see it in the show notes. You can join the Discord. Sawyer's got his own channel in there now. You can check out Sawyer's content on our YouTube channel. Sawyer's Sharp Shot with Sawyer, right? A+ alliteration right there. A+ alliteration. Sawyer, we'll get you. I shared that again by accident. Sawyer, we'll get you back to your corner office. I know you got a lot of business, a lot of deals to do. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. And guys, we went like an hour and 20. Oh yeah, was that a basketball right there?
It's a basketball right there. I shoot that. Yeah.
There we go. And we went an hour and 20 without getting one of these, but you know it's coming. Thanks again, Sawyer, for being here. We'll see you again soon. We out.
PJ Washington.